Out of the 20,181 teachers who sat for the 2023 Ghana Teacher Licensure Examination, GTLE 2 and 3, a significant number of 5,556, close to half of the number, have failed to meet the pass mark. According to the National Teaching Council, NTC, 10,625 teachers, representing 52.6%, passed the exams. The teacher licensure examination has been in the news in recent weeks after former President John Mahama promised in his campaign to cancel it if he is re-elected in the 2024 elections. While Mr. Mahama and the National Democratic Congress (NDC) call for the abolition of the licensure exams, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana (CTAG) opposes the proposal, asserting that the policy is beneficial and should be retained. On the back of this developing story, Mr. Obenfo Nana Kwesi Jetua, National Executive Director, Ghana National Council of Private Schools, joins us via the telephone line to help us understand the issues better. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, Ms. Lynn.
Mr. Obenfo, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We are grateful for your time.
That's fine.
Now, clearly, quite a significant number of teachers who sat for these exams failed to meet the pass mark. What do you think, first of all, accounted for that?
Thank you very much. And let me take the opportunity to greet all your viewers this afternoon. Let me put the first clarification that needs to be addressed for each and everyone listening and watching us in the message or letter, the post that has been made. When we say teachers, there's a need for us to classify or categorize the type of the teachers who wrote this licensure exam. In Ghana, our professionalism has brought out categorization of teachers. And broadly, we have the in-service teachers and then we have the pre-service teachers. The in-service teachers are teachers who have already been qualified and they are already in the existence teaching. We have student teachers, people or persons who have just completed the tertiary education and they desire to join the teaching profession. They are called the pre-service teachers. And licensure exams, based on the Education Regulatory Act, is meant for them. So it is not an entirety teachers like people who are already in the system who have been subjected to these licensure exams, and for that matter, they have failed. But rather, it is the persons who have completed various teacher training colleges or universities and they have undertook any teacher professionalism in terms of knowledge aspect or knowledge content, and they want to desire to join the teaching profession, and for that matter, they are expected to be assessed to check their content knowledge, whether or not it is valid for them to have access to the teaching. And that is where this issue is coming from.
Very well. The explanation is clear, but what do you think accounted for the failure to meet the pass mark?
There are so many points that we can look at it. The first can be the teacher or the deserved teacher himself or herself, ability to prepare himself to be assessed. The second aspect will also be the kind of content that is delivered to the teacher during his training program, whether or not it meets or is in sync with the National Teaching Council yardstick of assessment. Then the other conditions can be the social environment, the economic environment, and other emotional traumas that these people go through. Because we believe that when we are talking of assessment, it is not only the content knowledge that demands a sort of assessment where pen and paper will be used to assess the grammatical aspect of the person or the ability to memorize facts. is the only way to assess the person. But if we are coming out with the various forms of assessment in terms of teaching practice, in terms of the content aspect also, or experience that the person will exhibit, that could have been one of the reasons or other reasons which could be put into. Because if you look at it, it's over 30% or 30%. What it means is 70% pass. So it means that these 70% or the 30% who couldn't pass are people who face the challenge in memorization. Because as you speak now, the content is such in such a way that you need to memorize the facts and pour them down. So that does not necessarily mean these teachers are not eligible. But then, so the fact that the question that was given to them at that instant they were not able to answer does not mean that they don't qualify to be teachers.
You just oppose that to, for instance, the BECE, the WASI, and the various exams that we write in Ghana. Is that not the same mode of assessment?
Exactly, and that is why at the 21st century of learning, education has evolved. And there's a need to also ensure that the other aspect of the education that deals with assessment has to also take a new phase. And if you have listened very carefully, most of the comments you have made, you have said that government should be able to invigorate the changes in education to cut across all the sources in education, i.e., the curriculum, the instruction, and then the assessment. So yes, we are doing assessments in the primary level, the senior education level, and all that. But let us ask ourselves, people that they have been able to pass their exam, have they been able to solve the societal challenges that we face in our society as required by education?
Are you in favor of the abolition of these licensure exams completely, or you want it modified? Where do you stand on this?
The position is that professionalism must stay, and that will help bring out a lot of issues that it has been covered for a long period of time. If not this teacher's licensure exam, today we wouldn't have been speaking about 30% mass failure and all that. So we need to ensure that this assessment must be there. Teachers who want to join the teaching profession must go through a sort of assessment, as is done in various professional practices in various areas. But what we need to do is that we need to integrate a sort of assessment, multiple means of assessment that will help each and every individual. Like what we are doing now, it is more or less like calling all animals and asking them to use one means to justify their ability to live. For instance, calling all animals to say that all of you swim in this river. Some may be able to do it very well because that is their habitat. Others may not be able to do it because that habitat is a different habitat to them. It is an alien to them. So we are not in favor of abolition of any licensure exam or teacher professionalism. But what we are saying is that a time has come for the education system to take a new leap in terms of assessment, so that different and multiple means of assessment can be carried out, and individual differences will be put into this categorization. So therefore, each and everyone who wanted to join the education service will have a means of assessment, and that will help solve the challenges that we are facing in our society. Because as we speak now, listen, somebody may pass this exam, but when you put the person to test, it will be very difficult for the person to prove that he merits for whatever percentage he got during the licensure exam. And at the same time, if you give those people who have failed a chance to prove themselves in the classroom, I believe that some of them will be able to do it. So there is a need for us to integrate into our education system a sort of assessment model that meets the intended purpose of carrying out the assessment, but not necessarily to say that somebody has written the exams and he has failed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obin, for Nana Kwesi Gentua. That was a good submission. He is the National Executive Director, Ghana National Council of Private Schools. He was speaking on the sidelines of the Ghana Teacher Licensure Examination 2 and 3, of which close to 10,000 teachers failed to meet the pass mark.